Hi, everybody, and welcome to the LGBTQ Real Estate Podcast. We are connecting LGBTQ homebuyers, sellers, and real estate pros since 2007. My name is Jeff Berger, and I'm the host. And we've got a great show today. With us is Jake Bluvstein, a realtor in Columbus, Ohio. I know Jake probably going on like 6 or 7 years now. We do a lot of LGBTQ real estate marketing.
Yep.
I can say personally, I think he's a great guy. I'm happy to welcome you, Jake, to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well. You're usually just a name behind an email, so it's good to get some FaceTime.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, well said. Well said. We're very often multitasking, texting, emailing, and, it's nice to have this face to face.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. And with that said, I'd like to start off our first question. So, for someone watching this, the reason why we started this podcast is because people are searching online for LGBTQ real estate agents, maybe in Columbus, other areas, that we feature realtors. And, I started to thinking, people like to watch videos. So if someone's moving to Columbus and they're thinking about, looking for a realtor, an LGBTQ realtor, I know that they would feel very comfortable working with you. And the purpose of this episode is for them to know you, know a little bit about your business, how you work with your customers, whatever it is you want to tell them. So our format's 15 minutes. We keep it brief. Everyone's multitasking these days. We're going to have to check our phone. An important text, is going to pop in. Share with us a little bit about you, personally and professionally. And anything you prefer to share.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having me. I always like having the opportunity to talk, us realtors. You can't shut us up generally. So thank you for having me. But yeah, I'm a realtor in Columbus, Ohio. I have been in the business for about 5 years now, and my background is in marketing and advertising. So had various roles in advertising and marketing for about 10 plus years before getting into real estate. So that's something that has really allowed my business to grow rapidly. Those are definitely skills that I have that a lot of other agents don't have, that I use to kind of leverage as a benefit to my clients, especially on the listing side. So that's a little bit about my background. I do have a team here in Columbus, Ohio. Right now, it's me and one other agent, Michael Arnold, who is also gay. I hope I didn't just out him to anyone. No, I'm kidding. He's out. But it's great working with a team. We always have backup. I just showed some houses this weekend for Michael while he was out of town. He backs me up as well. So I think it's an important advantage for our clients, especially I find a lot of people that I connect with from your channels are people that are moving to Columbus from out of state and they don't know anyone here. So just having, two people that they can rely on to make sure that when they're in town, somebody is available is important. So.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's good to have someone, to work closely with, especially in real estate, because everyone knows you can't be two places at one time. And, real estate can be very demanding and you want to service your customers best. So if they're not working with you, they're working with your team, which is, ultra tight, and they're in good hands always, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Great. So next question. I know we're working together for some years now, and I know you have a lot of LGBTQ clients. What is it about the LGBTQ community that you enjoy working with them so much?
I don't know. I'm kidding. My gay clients are some of my favorites. I think it's as a gay person myself, it's generally just more comfortable working with somebody who kind of understands the intricacies of your life, and who you feel like there's no judgment being passed, because unfortunately a lot of times that still does happen. I have clients who are gay. I have clients who are trans, and especially the trans community, a lot of people still don't unfortunately understand. They can't wrap their head around it for whatever reason that
Yeah,
is. And
you're saying
so,
it like it is. We're
yeah,
being honest here, and some
yeah.
people don't
So,
understand it. You
yeah,
do.
so working with somebody who, is accepting and understanding and knows that, who you are is who you are, um, is important to people. And I think at the end of the day, people just want to be respected and understood. And I think that that's something, that I offer to my LGBTQ clients, because that's what I want.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's about someone that may find this video this week, next month, even next year,
Hmm.
that they see that you're a realtor in Columbus, and, they may feel comfortable working with you. Your website is available. Of course, your phone number will be inclusive in the information in this video as well on YouTube.
Hmm.
And yeah, thanks for sharing that. So, my next question is, why does the LGBTQ community enjoy working with you? I mean, do you take them to drag brunch on Sundays? What is it about you that they really enjoy? I'm sure there's something,
Yeah.
your personality, how
Yeah.
does that work?
Yeah, well, I don't think it's just specific to the LGBTQ community. I think it's just in general. I like to keep it real. I think a lot of people in this business are very stuffy. You either get somebody who's very like it's all business all the time and they're very stuffy, or you get somebody who like, is no business and it's just all fun. And I feel like I have a good blend of that. I treat
Yes.
my clients as like they're people, because they are. So I generally feel like I have a more relaxed demeanor, but that doesn't mean that I don't get shit done. So I feel like just kind of that balance of business and pleasure, is something that people enjoy working with me with. I would love to go to drag brunch with all of my clients. Unfortunately, I have too many of them, and I would be doing drag brunches 7 days a week, which could be fun, but I don't think my trainer would like that. Too much alcohol.
It might be. It might be. We can all get carried away sometimes at a drag brunch,
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
easy to leave.
I'm going to
So
one this weekend, so
great, great. Well,
yeah,
enjoy.
it's a
Enjoy.
fundraiser.
That
So
sounds awesome.
yeah,
Something to add to my calendar as well this weekend. Yeah, yeah, you're getting the wheels rolling. So
yeah.
I'm here in Columbus, okay, and it's such a vibrant LGBTQ community. Let alone LGBTQ, it's probably one of the fastest growing job markets
Hmm.
in the
Yeah.
country. It's got so much going for it, and
Hmm.
so many people are relocating there. I know you live and service all of Columbus. Tell us what you
Hmm.
like about the community, for example.
Yeah.
Um, whether it be your favorite part of the city, the downtown. I know there's a lot of arts. There's great dining, great
Hmm.
coffee shops, wine bars. There's a great
Hmm.
job market, public transportation. Anything you want to hit on, share with our viewers what's great about your area.
Yep, sounds good. Yeah, I mean, one thing that surprises a lot of people is that Columbus is a very, very, very gay city. And it's a very accepting city. I feel comfortable walking down the street downtown holding hands with the man. Um, so, I think that's something that a lot of people don't expect out of Ohio. Not all of Ohio is like that, but Columbus is a very gay city. Don't quote me on this, but at one point in time, I heard a statistic that per capita, Columbus had the second highest gay population to San Francisco. That might have been like that might be an old stat now. I'm not sure. But there's definitely a very, very, very strong LGBTQ community here in Columbus, Ohio. There are a lot of services that support the community. We have one of the biggest pride festivals in the United States. I think last year, it was like 800,000 people
Yeah.
attended the Pride Parade and Festival. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of times, if somebody's relocating for work or something like that, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to Ohio. What what's that going to be like? And I just have to say that if you're winding up in Columbus, I think you'll be really happy with the community and being accepted here.
That's great. That's really great. And, you know, I've heard it, but hearing it from your mouth, you know, someone that lives there, a professional
Mm-hmm.
that works in real estate, for people that may be relocating there,
Yeah.
um, you know, that means a lot. You know, they can, you know, because people will be on Google, they're going to click around, they're going to read. But hearing it on video, and, you know, it's like we all watch YouTube when our kitchen sink backs up. You know, what am I
Yeah.
going to do? You know, how do you find a realtor? You know,
Yeah.
so, you know, this was the idea of this podcast, and I think this is a great episode. I'm enjoying it. We're at 10 minutes. You know, we've got a little more time left. Tell us about the housing stock in Columbus. Like, for example, I know there's a downtown, so there's condos, there's single family, there's townhouses. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you probably go out and get a lake home somewhere. What's that like? You probably work with a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. I would say probably 60 to 70% of my business is kind of more in the metro area, downtown and surrounding neighborhoods. Historically, downtown Columbus, there hasn't been a huge residential population. There are small neighborhoods. There's German Village, there's the Short North, there's Grandview, there's Old Town East, that kind of surround downtown. And that's where a lot of people have historically lived. But over the past 10 years or so, they've done a lot in the downtown market to build additional rentals and condos. So the downtown core itself is changing very rapidly. So I forgot what your question was. What was your question?
Well, you know, basically you were answering it, but
Yeah.
there's it's a large answer, so there's a lot of components. So tell
Yeah.
us more about the housing stock. There's condos.
Yes.
I mean, you started talking about downtown,
Yes.
but there's
So
all of
there's
the
not
bullet
enough of
points
it,
and
I
single
guess, is the
family and
yeah. The TLDR, too long didn't read, is that there's not enough housing stock. Columbus is growing at an exponential rate, and the rate at which we're building housing here is not keeping up with that pace. So, you know, we have definitely seen a tightening in inventory, which has really increased competitiveness and increased prices as well. So, you know, a lot of agents like to complain that there are no houses, there's no inventory. There are always houses, there are always inventory. What I tell people is they need to make sure they work with an agent who knows how to get it for you, because it's
yeah,
not just pushing paper, it's not just writing offers, it's not just showing houses. There needs to be a strategy, an offer strategy, and you need to have an agent that kind of tells you what you need to do to win. And I think it takes a special type of person to do that. And I like to think I'm that kind of person. So, you know, inventory is tight, city's growing, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to get a place.
yeah. And remember also, this video will transcend time. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
6 months from now, there will be
Yeah.
more inventory. So, you know,
Yep.
that may not even be an issue. You know,
Yeah.
one day there was inventory,
Always
now
up and
there's not
down.
a lot. So, you know, if anything is going to change, it's like the weather.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and you know, I guess one of our last questions, not the last, but one of them, you know, LGBTQ families, you know, that may be thinking of moving to Columbus, you know, we know it's gay friendly, we know it's, you know, welcoming. Um, you know, they may want to know a little bit more about the schools, you know, accepting, you know, for LGBTQ kids, maybe someone has a trans
Mm-hmm.
child. You know, there are, you know, certain things that they would like to know, maybe places of worship. You know, what can you tell them in that sense? You know, schools, places of worship, you know, what what would you like to say to that? Friendliness to the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, well, fair housing is a thing, so I can't say too much about schools. But you know, I think that there are always options. You know, one great resource is a nonprofit that I actually was founded. I was part of a group of a few people who founded a nonprofit called Family Pride Network back in 2014. And that organization has since been absorbed into Stonewall, which is, you know, the local LGBTQ, um, nonprofit that does a lot of programming and has a lot of support services. But Family Pride Network's mission is kind of to connect, support, and educate children, families, prospective parents in the LGBTQ community through social events and educational programs and professional resources. So, I would definitely reach out to Stonewall, and specifically, the people that do the programming now for Family Pride Network, to get more information on neighborhoods and schools and places of worship, because it's a really good resource for information like that. And I founded it, so
That's
always
amazing.
good to make a plug.
Well, that's amazing, and that's the type of person I knew you'd be important to, bring to our podcast. I didn't know that about the nonprofit that you founded, and that's really amazing. So, if someone was thinking of working with you, they could
Hmm.
contact you through your website, the Bluvstein group.
Absolutely.
They could call you. They can email you. Your information will
Yep.
be on this. And in addition to showing them properties in the areas, you can refer them to resources for family outreach and to
Absolutely.
connect about
Yeah.
maybe some LGBTQ questions. And what Jake references with fair housing as a realtor, for anyone watching this that didn't understand that, um, there are certain things you can say and certain things you can't say when it comes to fair housing, because fair housing is for all. Everyone wants
Hmm.
equality, and you can't just say the LGBTQ community would feel comfortable with this, or the African American community would feel comfortable with that. It's fair for all. So a realtor
Hmm.
cannot say where someone would feel comfortable. That's suggesting that they wouldn't feel comfortable elsewhere.
Yep.
So that's where Jake was going with the fair housing. I just want to
Yep.
clarify for
Yeah.
that someone
I
that's not
can
in the
point you
industry.
to resources, but I can't point you to neighborhoods.
Yeah, yeah. You can point them to every neighborhood.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. It's about equality. No one belongs pigeonholed in one area. Years
Hmm.
ago it was the neighborhood. Where's the
Yep.
neighborhood? Where does everyone want to move? Times have changed. So and that's nice that we talked about that. I'm glad we talked about that. It's
Hmm.
important. Okay, so our last question: when you're not busy helping people buy and sell homes, I know you like to go to drag lunch, but what else do you like to do in town? What's your hobby? Where can what do you like to do?
Oh man, I have a historical house that is a project house. It's nice, but it needs a lot of things. So I love doing things around my house to kind of fix it up. I love landscaping. I like baking and cooking, even though I haven't had much time to do it lately. And I think just generally hanging out with family and friends. I always, whenever I get the hobbies question, I'm always like, man, I wish I like rode horses or had something like cool that I did. But I'm like, generally like, I like to watch TV and hang out with my friends.
Well,
But
that's
yeah,
nice. That's nice. I
yeah,
imagine you're
yeah.
going to be planting some spring flowers soon, right?
Yes, yes. I just did a
Very
giant
nice. And
landscaping
you can be
project. So
found at Home Depot once in a while.
yes, yep.
Well,
That's
I hear you
that's
on the
that's
hobby
where
thing.
that's where I, that's where I pick up my boyfriends.
Great, great, great. So, I know I'm in South Florida. I don't play golf. So go figure. Everyone
Okay.
says, "Oh, you play golf." No, I don't. Um, but there you go. There's a saying, especially with housing, I think it's very important. Happiness can often be found in your own backyard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, people search throughout the world, they go traveling all over the world. They want to take a picture in front of the Mona Lisa, and that's going to make them happy. Often that's not what it's about. It's about, smelling the flowers in your own backyard, inviting family over for a barbecue. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well, this is awesome. Jake, thanks so much for being on the podcast. We really
Yeah. Thanks
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
We always end each episode with two thumbs up. Great, great. Thanks. The world is looking up. It's a little polarity these days in the air, but we always look at it with a sense of positivity. We're helping people achieve their American dream of home ownership, whatever that may
Yeah.
look like, in a way that they want to be treated. So there you have it, folks. Jake Bluvstein, Columbus, Ohio. His information is there, theblovesteingroup.com. when searching or buying or selling a home in Columbus, you know where to go.
All
Thanks,
right.
Jake.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful
Thanks.
day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.